ladies and gentlemen. We're just waiting for our dancers to get into place here. As I mentioned before, we really have a special performance planned for you today. Today's show is very thematic. It tells a dramatic story about a fiery woman who was a native of Tahiti. And she found her way eventually to the island of Hawaii to eventually become the goddess of fire and volcano. This is the story of the goddess Pele, and how it is that she came to Hawaii from such a faraway place, and what drove her out of the islands of Tahiti and Samoa. It was a very interesting story because Pele, as you can imagine, is a very fiery sort of personality. Kind of would be the goddess of fire and the volcano. And as it turns out, when she was at home in the villages in Tahiti, she made a terrible mistake. And she was mischievous with her sister's husband, of all things. And it created a lot of family troubles, as you can imagine, in the village. And eventually she was banished from the island of Tahiti. And so began her journey across the islands of the South Pacific from one place to another, looking for a home, someplace that would accept her. And eventually she found her way to the islands of Hawaii, and one by one tried her hand there to make a home. And we're going to tell you the rest of the story here in just a minute. mercy. Whew. Here we go. Let's move. I'm going to move a couple of these drums out of the way now. So that's the beginning of the story of Pele, the fiery goddess of the volcano, where she made her way from the island of Tahiti. And actually, when we follow the tradition of this respect for this great force of nature, it goes back to Samoa, even the kingdom of Tonga, but nowhere in all of the folklore and mythology is the story of Pele more widely celebrated than in the islands of Hawaii. And maybe that's because that's where she finally found her home after a long journey. So we're going to take you on that journey now to the islands of Hawaii. And let me grab my instruments and we'll get set up here. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, we come to the part of the story here where Pele she's just managed to survive quite a long journey across the South Pacific and find her way to Hawaii. We all know that Hawaii's got a beautiful chain of islands, and she lands at the first one, an island called Ni'ihau. And it's her first stop, and it's called the Forbidden Island. And each place she goes, she's trying to dig herself a little pit and make herself a home on the island. Well, we're going to see exactly what happens. So first, let's bring out our first islander from the island of Ni'ihau. And here comes Pere looking for a home. Ladies and gentlemen. So she's trying to dig for a home, and Wakea asks, Ane nao Wakea, o ai nea kua e ele nei? It doesn't look like she's welcome. In fact, the little islanders refuse to let Pele on the island. Yeah, you let her know, darling. Ma kau kau. E hoki nā le niki haue, ke one hanau pupu ka hele lani, hana ina nalu hanupa nupa, holoki ana na na hinu hinu, e la e. Kaulana maine o pupu vaila, mina pupu vai o lu hoko niki hau he, o woli amanaka e ika aku, he aina huna mai huna iku kai, he la he. Haina mai lana kapuana, e hoki kolo hare niki hau he, wa paine ho hoki ana no, e hoki kakiki aloha aloha Hey! So, ladies and gentlemen, Pele wasn't welcome at Ni'ihau, so she goes to Kaho'olawe. And she comes to the island there that is known as the Forgotten Island. But the Hawaiians of this island say that this is not the Forgotten Island. And they won't let Pele forget it. E, o ai nea kua e ele nei. She's not welcome on Koho'olawe either, does it look like it? And our islanders perform a number here that's a tribute to the Forgotten Island, which they have never forgotten. Kaho'olawe. Ho'oma kau kau. Hai. Ea ho'olawe moku puni nalo, no ho'olu olu ina kuawa o Maui. Kaulana lo na pua hina hina, hele puna hele o ne kupuna kahiko. Moku puni li'i, aina I kaika nui, a ole na lo vale ka aina ka ho'olawe. Woo! Aole, ole na lo vale ka aina ka ho'olawe, ua mau ke ea o ka aina I ka pono. Ua mau ke ea o ka aina I ka pono. Ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful island of Kauai. And we see the royal color of purple. This is a chant to Laka, the goddess of hula. But it looks like Pele is still looking for a home here. Ani na o wakia, o ai nea kua e ele nei. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a place not to be afraid, and it looks like Pele's sister has followed her all the way from Tahiti. You remember that sister? That was the one that Pele went out with her husband. That was a bad idea. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a chant to Laka, the goddess of hula. And the story is told in the forest of Mauna Hea, the mist-covered mountains of Kauai. Mapu kahanu o ka lawa e, mapu noe ka puri o ka vai aloha, aloha I ke kapa e hukai, huki pale huki lohe nuhe huai e, no e mai la ke le hua makanoi, no e ka la ke le hua makanoi, no e vivo ole I ke anu I ke alaka I papa ale e, ala kuki kuki lima kamanaka o Mauna Hina e. Hina no papa o vau vale no, e hina no pake e kua e ka hua na e vai e. Ali alai, he anu vale no, he anu vale no e. So, ladies and gentlemen, many of you are familiar with this island. You'll see the colors change as we move from island to island. And this is the home of the Waianae, and the island of Oahu. And it's a place where you are greeted by the scent of kukui groves. On this island, the story goes, one often falls under the spell of infatuation, with a strong desire to gather maile, and in a labor of love to weave that mailele for the one that they love. Pele is curious about this because she knows about this infatuation, and she would like to make this island her home, but it is not to be. Poor child. Ho'oma kau kau. Aloha e kapali e vaiana e nani mahana pa'a i ke ala ho'oheno. Ke Luau o ka maile kiki ke kukui, ka leo ka le kau I ka uma. E aga hana hoki a ke aloha, na o ka uli vehi o ka aina. Hiri ia e ke maile me ka palai, anu ai ke velina aloha e, aloha e, aloha e. Ladies and gentlemen, now the color green. This is the island of Molokai, the island of Laka, the goddess of hula, and the goddess of the forest. And so you see our dancers have brought a gift for this goddess of hula. And what a beautiful thing to be such a lovely and graceful force of nature, the goddess of hula. And so our dancers come to adorn themselves in what grows from this earth mother, to embrace the spirit of Laka. But obviously, Pele has no business invading their space. Sister. Ho'oma kau kau. Loha maya I mako I ka rana luau. E ano ka ulama, e ano ka ulala, e ano ka ulala. He ulaleo, he kanainai lohona moku I anoi. E laka e. Elakae, elakae. Elakae, ho'oluia, elakae, ho'oluia, elakae, ho'oluia. So, ladies and gentlemen, finally, Pele's just about to run out of islands looking for her home. Not quite. She ends up now on the island of Lanai, the home of the flowery vine, the Kanaua. Strangers to the island don't see much beauty in this flower, but the natives of Hawaii do. Long ago, for many years, the islanders refused to live on this island because it was inhabited by man-eating spirits. And so they enlisted the aid of the famous chief from Maui, Luau, and he tricked the spirits into submission and made the island safe once again. But Pele arrives here looking for home. She didn't think she would be afraid of ghosts, but ha! She's in for a surprise. Ha! 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 Oh, ma kau. Hano hano, hano hano la naki ke kanaua. Ko hukapa ahu ula ka po hivi. E ola la naki a kaulu la au. E akumako e o mai oi, e akamako e o mai oi, e akumako e o mai oi, e o mai oi. So, ladies and gentlemen, we almost bring you back to the end of the tour of this particular journey of Pele as she looks for her home. This particular style of hula that we're seeing here today is a little bit different than the hula that many of us are used to seeing. There's two different styles. One's called the kahiko, which is the ancient style. Kahiko means old, the old way. You hear people say, back in the day. In Hawaii, they say kahiko manava, back in the day. So this is the old style of Hawaiian dance. It's low to the earth. They call it keha'a. Ha'a means to be low because you want to feel the energy of the Earth Mother when you dance through your body. So they dance with their legs low like this. Very ancient style. And then later on in the show, we do a little bit of the style called awana, which is a little more of the modern dancing from Waikiki and the kind of stuff that we are usually more familiar with. But we're going to take you to two last islands here on our journey because she has not yet arrived to the island of Maui. And of course, many people think that Maui is their favorite island. I know we like it a lot ourselves. We travel there when we can. Well, Pele wants to make a home there. And they've been kicking her out of every other island in the islands of Hawaii, and she hopes to make a space there. She's arriving at a place, and let me tighten this up a little bit here. She's arriving at a place that is the home of this legendary rain. It's called the Ulalena Rain. And the Ulalena Rain is a light mist that is yellowish red, and it only appears occasionally and only at twilight. Twilight. Now stop and think about this. This is really quite a remarkable thing. This chant is all about searching for the Ulalena Rain. And the poetry of the Hawaiian language is so beautiful because it takes us deep within our search for peace in life. The Ulalena Rain happens only at twilight. That's when night is no longer and daytime has not yet come. It's the moment in between, the moment of now. And in the midst of our 21st century lives, there's the message of Hawaii comes through so strong sometimes in this beautiful poetry. We are often on our way somewhere, thinking about where we're going or where we've come from, and how often, or how seldom I should say, it is that we appreciate the sweet breath of this moment now. This moment now. Always thinking of the past, always moving towards where we're going in the future. And what about now? And that's what this chant, this next chant is all about. It's a very beautiful, beautiful chant written over 100 years ago. And it starts off going, "Au hea vale ana oe ta ua ula lena." Where are you, ula lena rain? Where are you? It's this call and this search for this one thing that happens at the moment of now, when life has meaning, when we feel at peace, with the Earth Mother, with the universe, with our family, friends, society, that moment of now. And that's the message of this particular chant. So I wish I could translate it all for you, but I can't do that right now, maybe someday. But we'll do it here really quickly. We went looking for the Ulalena rain. When we were in Maui a couple years ago, we brought the halau in 2007. We traveled 1,000 feet up the cliff to Pi'iholo, expecting to find that magical rain, but at the top we found a Girl Scout camp. So much for the magic. I don't know. It was a bad day. So, like I said, the rain only happens every once in a while. We're going to go look again, though. Ho'oma kau kau. Hey, hey. He'evale ano e taua ula lena. Tahito mai la iuta e tanani o Pi'iholo. Uli te meta o pua e noho mai la iavala ua e hua ine tamana o e pili me te aloha. Aloha o matava o e tavua utiu tiu he tiu na tana ulu e te tula o tama o ma o ta loa ta ui ana e ta oni o ta liki liki ilihi ai hone loto e ta utana o te aloha oh yeah. Oh heavale ano oe taua ula lena tahito mai la iuta e tanani o Pi'iholo. Oh heavale ano oe taua ula lena tahito mai la iuta e tanani o Pi'iholo. So, ladies and gentlemen, looks like Pele met her end there, huh? Her sister showed up. And in the legends, that's pretty much what happened. She came to Hawaii, and on the island of Maui, her sister caught up with her, and they had a violent struggle, and Pele lost her life. However, that's not the end of the story. As you can know, Pele seems to be alive and well, because she's not the kind of person to let a small thing like being dead stop her. And she no longer has a body, so what does she do? She comes back as a spirit. And she comes back with passion, and she comes back with a little bit of anger, too. And at this point in her life, now that she no longer has the physical restraints, nobody can really stand in her way, and she comes to the big island of Hawaii. She becomes a relentless force of nature, and that's the force that we know today that lives in the island of Hawaii. The great goddess Pele, the goddess of fire, of the volcano. And the Hawaiians, this story it means so much to the Hawaiians. They live next to this volcano, Kilauea, that is one of the most active volcanoes on the face of the planet Earth. And their folklore is so closely tied to this that I'll give you an example. There was a period of time back in the 1800s. Kilauea, it erupted 34 times in the 1800s. 34 times, and one of these explosions was so violent that it sent lava racing toward the town of Hilo. And for those of you that have been there, you could just kind of picture it coming down the hills, and the horror of the people that were there. And the Queen Ruth, at the time, she had such a devotion to Pele and such a strong and fervent devotion that she went out in front of the lava. She took her tea leaves and raised them up like this and said some prayers. And then she laid down, this is a historical fact, she laid flat down in the path of the oncoming lava. And the lava stopped. And the town was saved. So the story of this great goddess goes back, and people have fervently believed, even to this day, people pay great respect to that great force of nature, which is Pele. And all the Hawaiian chants and oral traditions that carry down to today let us know that Pele is still alive and well. And there she is. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to perform a number now, which is traditionally dedicated to the goddess Pele. And this is a number we learned from Auntie Clarice some years ago. And we had the great privilege in 2005 and 2007 to bring our halau to the island of Hawaii and to stand on the edge of the crater of Halema'oma'o, which is the home of Pele, as it just flowed and surged with lava. And on the edge of that crater, all of our dancers sang this chant and danced this chant, A'ia-la'o Pele. Ma kau kau. Aya, A'ia-la'o Pele Hawaii, ke ha'amai lai mau kelea. A'ia-la'o Pele Hawaii, ke ha'amai lai mau kelea. Uhi uha maiana ea, ke nome elaiana puna ea. Uhi uha maiana ea, ke nome elaiana pali ea. Mea nani kai pali uli ea, ke pulelo elaina pali ea. Kamea nani kai pali uli ea ke puleloa e laina paliea. Op. Haia kapalena I maui ea, aina o ka ulu lau ea. Aia kapalena I maui ea, aina o ka ulu lau ea. Ihea kaua I la ia ea, I ke ala nui a ali ane ea. Ihea kaua I la ia ea, I ke ala nui a ali ane ea. Haina I mai ka puana ea, no hiki a kono e no ea. Haina I mai ka puana ea, no hiki a kono e no ea. Ea la ea. Hai Ladies and gentlemen, all right, well, I tell you, Janaea makes a good Pele. She's got the personality for it. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't tell her I said that. Whoops. So, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us now to the last portion of our show here. Yeah. This first opening is quite an accomplishment for our halau. This probably one of the most intricate and complicated cultural pieces that our group has performed. And as you know, Kamakani Komohana, our halau, our Polynesian dance school, is a nonprofit organization. And we're dedicated to promoting, the language, the music, and the dance of the islands of the South Pacific. So all the girls have to learn the words to the songs, the words to the chant, the meaning. They've got to translate so that they can embody the spirit of the chants and the music. It's quite a remarkable experience, and I think at this particular halau, I'm really proud of everybody because it shows you just how hard they worked. They did a really, really good job. I'm very proud of them. So we're going to take you now, and before we do, we've got to invoke the sacred word of the island of Hawaii, which we always do. We're going to invoke the wrath of Pele. Don't want to do that. So we know that the sacred word of Hawaii is aloha. And aloha means hello. It means goodbye. It means a lot of things. But today we invoke the deeper meaning of the word aloha. Aloha is the gift that is given to each of us. And aloha is that energy from the Great Spirit that brings us all together, that creates the healing of separation, that brings spirit to spirit, heart to heart, race to race, nation to nation. Aloha is the energy that makes one world. It's the energy that rises with the sun. It's a gift that's given to each of us, and it is the gift that we give to one another. So as I say the word aloha, I want you to open up your hearts, please, and repeat after me. Here we go. We're going to bring some of this energy down. Aloha! That was pretty sorry. We got to do it again, I'm telling you. Did I say what aloha means? That's right, and it really means that. Let's open up our hearts. Here we go. Aloha! Woo! Aloha! 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 Tiny bubble in the wine makes me happy, makes me feel fine, A tiny bubble, make me warm all over, with a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. Tiny bubble in the wine makes me happy, makes me feel fine. Tiny bubble, make me warm all over, with a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. Here's to the golden moon, and here's to the silver sea, and most of all, a toast to you and me. Tiny bubble in the wine makes me happy, makes me feel fine. Tiny bubble, make me warm all over, with a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end. A feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end. A feeling that I'm gonna love you, gonna love you till the end of time. Yay! Thank you so much.